Hi, it's William Jamming. So previously we talked about how to draw the metal sort of feeling and the reflection by using specific color pattern as well as Gaussian blur. And later, I experiment a little bit, and I think I find another way of doing things, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Let me show you. Okay, so instead of just using this, I'm going to just hide this two layer and create a completely new layer. Okay, so you can just draw a whatever shape that you want. So for example, let me just draw a circle. Okay, just draw a circle, hold it here. Yeah, maybe use a some sort of like a monotone color, a monotone brush. Let me use a studio pen carefully and make it like a biggest stupid studio pen I've ever done. Okay, and yeah, and then what I'm gonna do is to yeah maybe make it like more you know just a thinker line, something like this. Yeah, maybe just do that manually because I want to show the pattern. Okay, so yeah, maybe here. It doesn't really matter that much. Of course, you can even draw something like this. Okay, so let me just show you, and maybe something like the William Jamming. Okay, something like this doesn't really matter. Okay, okay, don't let that scare you. Okay, just to duplicate this, and what I'm going to do is to click this, add a alpha lock, so the color won't spell out, and then I'm going to choose a darker color, just to drag it down a little bit. And since it's already alpha locked, you can just click it and fill the layer with that specific color. Of course, you won't be able to see it. That's because it's hiding exactly the same place beneath it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is to click this and to drag it out a little bit to add some sort of like a thickness to our line. Okay. So once you're satisfied with this, you got two layers right now. You just need to pinch it. Okay. Uh, Pinch it. Okay. So just combine these two layers and flatten it to one layer. Okay. So when you move, everything moves. Okay. Yeah. Once you combine all that, you can safely add in the adjustments. And previously we used Gaussian blur, but recently I've been experimenting with noise a lot. I believe noise is a very powerful tool. I've done the like a noise modifier in Blender, and yeah, this is very interesting. So I know how to use noise in Blender, and I want to transfer that kind of knowledge. Maybe you apply that in Procreate as well. So what I'm going to do is to first apply this noise. So if you are like aiming for that style, you already like achieve this because you can get this like the noise texture to it. Previously, I demonstrated that you can make it like a golden thing, and then you add the mask, and then everything you draw just become golden. But right now, I'm going to just leave this here. Of course, you can adjust the noise to like a really high number. I prefer personal preference is that 30%. That's already pretty good. You don't want it to be really high. And of course, then I'm going to change the scale, and I'm going to make this scale very big so you guys can see the pattern more clearly. Okay, things is about the reflection on mantle. Okay, so if you let me just hide this. Okay, yeah, if I hide this, modification will be gone. Let me yeah, let me just add the um, finish adding the noise, and then let's continue. Okay, so I'm going to make it like a fairly big, so guys can see this noise pattern. You don't want the noise pattern like this, because if you go like this, you'll be like not metal sort of thing. We're going to borrow this random generated pattern and make it some sort of like a reflection. So yeah, you can sort of eyeball this. Okay, you can clearly already see this like reflection. um, yeah, you need to find a sweet spot like this. Okay, so if you are satisfied with this, you can just make it here. And of course you can change the octave as well. Okay, you can change the octave, so you got some like a nice waving sort of color. And of course you want like a really cut difference, you can use bridge, so you got some like color like this. I personally prefer not so reflective metal, so I use cloud. Of course you can use pillow, that really depends on your style. If I use pillow, I might just to scale even more. But if you use cloud, you don't need to be like a too much. Okay, and of course you can change the octave. If you like adding an octave to a really high number, we have a very outstanding cutting point. So if you use the cloud, my personal preference is just to turn down the octave. Okay, and the turbulence, that really depends on you. Okay, you can make it like a really like a outstanding cutting point, or really subtle. I prefer really subtle sort of feeling, but I do want to like make a different, like dark color, white color, dark color, white color, something like that. Okay, that really depends on you. So once you are satisfied with the noise modifier, then you apply that. If you click anywhere else, you already apply that. And then what I'm going to do is to duplicate this whole layer. Okay, so we got like two normal layers, and for this layer, we already like select alpha lock, but we can invert the selection. So if you invert that, the whitest color will become dark and darkest color become white. Okay, so you can invert it. So as you can see, we got something like this. And here is the very crucial point. Sometimes if the contrast is too great, sometimes the number may just subtract to below zero. You don't want that, because if you got like zero, you won't be able to see it. So I'm going to show you how. Okay, so I'll show you why. So if you right now it's normal, basically just mathematic. Okay, and you want to change it. This is like a try and error. I add a lot, try a lot of thing. Okay, and I believe the difference subtract will give me a pretty good result. So if you think other result is good, you can just play around. It's just mathematics. Okay, so the subtracts from the layer below. So basically, if you just got 100 and you got another number, and that number you invert that and subtract it, you can get a very good color showing. And of course, if you don't want too drastic, you can just turn down a little bit. Okay, so you got like a really vague feeling. That really depends on you. Okay, so if you want to turn down, or if you got some error, you can do something like turning it down. Right now, I'm going to just get 100% max opacity. So if there is error, I'm going to show you how to solve this. Okay, so right now you already got a some sort of the metal feeling. So if you compare this with the metal that we did earlier, okay, let me just use the smaller one. You can already see it's already pretty similar without actually using your brush to add that and control that. Of course, that's just a it's really like the when using Blender, it's like a shading node and a geo node. So basically, you are using more vector, more mathematic, more technique, more technology, rather than using the old traditional brush and paint over it and sketch and yeah, color theory, something like that. But still, I believe you can combine this. It's a very powerful tool, and you can add more as well. So once you are satisfied with the settings, you can then combine these two, and then you can duplicate this, okay, and then you can invert it, okay. So you can just invert everything else. You got a completely different feeling, okay. So if you don't want to invert this, you can just invert it back. You get something like this, and of course you can reduce your opacity and then invert it, so it will have another subtle layer above the original really bright shining layer. I often use this as a way to like turn down things a little bit. You don't want it like too bright, you want to turn down a little bit, so you got some sort of layer above. And of course you can like try different things. Of course you want to like add the reflection. If you think reflection is not good, you can add that by overlay. If you want like turn down soft lights, also pretty good. Vivid light, that unless you are aiming for some comic effect, normally I wouldn't recommend it. Pink lights, yeah, hard mix. That's kind of just to give away the secret sauce, because you are using the noise generated to get the color, and of course difference also give a very sharp contrast. Subtract is also works pretty good, and divide, hue, saturation, luminosity. That really depends on you, in fact. So I believe that's pretty much all. You can add this a final layer, or you don't need to add this. That doesn't really matter. That really depends on your style. As I said multiple times, there's no like it's not like solving mathematical problem. There is no final, or there's no correct way of doing this. There's no wrong way of doing this. As long as you apply that in a correct style, correct scenario, just whatever that works for you. Okay, I hope this video is helpful. If you think my video is helpful, do please give me a thumb up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'm Brin Jiaming, and I share everything I learn about digital art with you guys. And yeah, hope you guys like it. Bye.